So good evening everyone. We'll continue the class today again with the same paper. And so in the YouTube for the first session, I got some comments saying that they wanted some brief about in general models of CSAT as well as some general suggestions. So what I thought is after we complete this 2021 paper, I'll make a video separately on general CSAT instructions and what to remember during while solving the papers. That will make a separate video for it. And also some were saying there were better methods of solving the paper. So if you have such things, you can let me know either through the comment section or by some other means so that we can include in the video also. Okay, so let's start with this problem today. So yeah, so the question says integers are listed from 700 to 1000. In how many integers is the sum of the digits 10? So again, this is a question which says a specific range is given, that is from 700 to 1000, and he is saying that within this range how many integers is the sum of the digits 10. So let's say if you take a random number like 802, which is falling in this range, the sum of the digits is 8 plus 0 plus 2, and that is 10. So this is one of those numbers. So he's asking how many such numbers are there. So we in every such example where it has given a range and generally it asks about a condition on the 3-digit number, we can start from an ascending order. So if you see in only 700s, you can start with, let's say, 7, then 2 blanks. So here you can start from the least number possible. So here if you, let's say, put 0, then the next number to make it 10 should be 3. So this is one number. Then next least number would be 1. So you can put here as 2. Similarly, if it is here, if put here 2, then you can put 1. So nothing bars us from considering the 712 and 721. Generally, they give also conditions that the number should not repeat, but in this question, there is no such condition. So you can include these two also as a different numbers. So the next would be 730. So you have 4 numbers here, which have sum of digits as 10. Next would be 8. So here, if you see, again, you should start from the least number possible. So 80, the number would be 2. Then you have 811. Okay. Then next you can say 820. So you have 3 numbers with starting with 8. Next, if you go with 9 and again start with the least possible number, you have 901. Then you have 910, which is 2 numbers. And obviously any other number you can't fit in because already 9 is there. And before 1000, you will not be able to get any number, because if you increase any other number, let's say even if you take 923 or something, this increases 10. So this is the maximum possible for the sum to be 10. So totally you have 4 plus 3 plus 2. Totally you have 9 such numbers in the given range. So the answer will be 9. Okay, any doubt in this? Okay. So this question, so a woman runs 12 kilometers towards her north. So north, south, east, we can put the directions here. These are standard directions. So let's suppose the woman starts from here and she goes 12 kilometers north. This is the starting point. And he's saying then 6 kilometers towards the south. So again comes back in the same path for 6 kilometers. And 8 kilometers towards the east. So this is the east direction. They go 8 kilometers here. So this is the end point. So we have put this into figures. Now this is the end point. Now the question says, in which direction is she from her starting point? So this is her starting point and this is her end point. So they're asking in which direction is she from this starting point. So just to represent this, and since we already know this entire distance is 12 kilometers and she has traced back 6 kilometers. So the remaining this portion will be of 6 kilometer length. So just to simplify, so this will be 6 kilometers and this will be 8 kilometers, and this is the start point and this is the end point, and this is the direction that they're asking. Let's assume this point is A, and since in this triangle, this is a right angle triangle, had both sides been equal, the angle would have been 45. But we know it is not equal. 8 kilometers is more than 6 kilometers. So obviously this angle will be more than this angle. So I will put it as a bigger angle. This will be more than this. That means had they been equal, it would have been 45 and 45. But since 8 kilometers is more than 6 kilometers, this angle opposite to the bigger side will be bigger. So this angle will be more than 45 degrees. And this angle will be less than 45 degrees. Okay, so this is the basic conclusion. Now what they're asking is in which direction you see from a starting point. So if you see the direction, it is north as well as east. So she is in the north of east direction. So it can be this or this, option B or option D. But within this, whether the angle is more than 45 or less than 45, so always we have to take the standard as the horizontal one. Because even whether it is east or north, you are concluding from this baseline. So if this angle is more than 45, this angle will be less than 45. Okay, because we know this is a 90 degrees angle, and if one angle is more than 45, the other has to be less than 45, so that if you add both of them, it should get 90. So if you mark this as your standard line, you will see that she has finally ended up in northeast direction, but at an angle less than 45 degrees. So the answer will be second. Okay. Yeah, so the 25th question. Okay, so here what they are doing is, there are 7 books, P, Q, R, S, T, U and V, and they are placed side by side. Now what they are saying, R, Q and T have blue covers and other books have red covers. So they are giving color coding for the books. Next they are saying only S and U are new books and the rest are old. So there is a distinction again whether they are new and old. And what are they saying? P, R and S are law reports, the rest are gazetteers. So again the type of book, whether it is law reports or gazetteers. So finally what they are asking is books of old gazetteers with blue covers are. So since there are 3 different distinctions and there are 7, I think 7 books. So it's better we create a column here to represent it in a better way. So let's say if you put P, Q, R, S, T, U and V. Okay, so these are the books. Now here one row we can put it as what is their color, whether it is red or blue. Second column we can put it as whether they are new or old. Yeah, and third column says law reports or gazetteers. So we can put L or G. Now if you just put, let's say R, Q and T have blue covers. So R, Q and T. So R is blue, Q is blue, R is blue and T is blue. So the rest would be red. Next they are saying only S and U are new books. That means S is new book and U is new book. So rest all are old books. P, R and S are law reports. P is law, R is law and S is law. All then others would be gazetteers. Okay. So this is the basic classification of the books. Now what we have to find, books which are of old and gazetteers and which have blue covers. So they should be old, they should be blue and they should be gazetteers. So this is the combination BOG. Now we have to find out how many have this combination. So ROL, BOG, BOL, RNL, again we have a BOG here, RNG and ROG. So we get that Q and T are of this given combination. Okay, so I think it is simple enough. Only thing is you have to write it and put it explicitly so that you will easily find without any confusion. Sometimes while writing this codes and all, you might do some mistakes. So it's better to re-verify again before giving the final answer. So here you know that Q and T are there, which is option C, Q and T. Okay, so let's see the question. Replace the incorrect term by the correct term in the given sequence. where the odd terms and even terms follow the same pattern. Okay. So generally these sequence type of questions are also very common in CSAT, and more often than not they have some kind of a correlation between those numbers, and that is how a series is formed. Now you all know that normally we have this arithmetic mean, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, so on, where the difference between the numbers will be same. Like difference is 1, difference is 2 and 3 is 1, 3 and 4 is 1. Sometimes you have geometric progression, that is 1, 2, 4, then 8, then 16. So this is like every number is multiplied 2. Like 1 times 2 you get 2, 2 times 2 you get 4, 4 times 2 you get 8. So this is geometric mean, which is in multiples, and this is arithmetic mean. So in which the common difference is same, here the common divisor is same. But some sequences are not very obvious, and you need to find out the pattern, and that becomes a little difficult. But what I've observed is generally in CSAT, they are not very difficult. Mostly they follow the arithmetic mean in a different way. So we'll see in this example how it is, and with just a little application of mind, you can easily find the pattern. So let's see how it is. And since he's saying that odd terms and even terms follow the same, so the odd terms means the first, third and fifth term, so on. Even terms means second, fourth, sixth term, so on. So in the odd terms, let's say the odd terms will be the first, third, fifth, like that. So here it will be 3, 7, then you have 13, then you have 21, you have 31, 43. Okay. Then the even terms would be 2, 4, 10, 18, 28 and 40. Okay. So this is the these are the odd terms and these are the even terms. First we should explicitly write out the different terms. Then what is he saying? That both follow the same pattern. That means one of them follows a correct pattern, and we need to identify the incorrect term in the other pattern so that you can correct that particular number. So can anyone tell what is the pattern they are following? Can you find out any particular, yeah, please, anyone? Yeah? Yeah, correct. So my suggestion would be, generally when they give such patterns, always start out with the arithmetic mean or the differences part. Like let's always, if a sequence is given like this, first find out what is the difference between these terms. Let's say 7 and 3, the difference is 4. 7 and 13, the difference is 6. 21 and 13, the difference is 8. 31 and 21, it is 10, and 43, 31 will be 12. Okay. Now find out for the even terms also. 2, 6, 8, this is 10, and this is 12. So if you carefully observe, you see that the differences are in arithmetic mean. That is 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8, 8 plus 2 is 10, 10 plus 2 is 12. So they are following a particular pattern. The same if you see here, it is 2 plus 6, 2 plus 4 will be 6, but from 6 plus 6, again 6 plus 2 is 8, 8 plus 2 is 10, 10 plus 2 is 12. That means there is some problem in this particular number, because every other number is following this difference of 2. Only here the difference is 4. Whereas here if you see, every term has difference as 2, every 2 terms. So if you just change this particular number, let's say if you make it as 4, then the difference becomes 2. Okay, then the difference becomes 2. That means you have to change which number here? Yeah.
4, sir.
No.
So 4 with the 6.
Yeah. So when you have two 10, so the logical step would be to remove 4 and put 6. Then what happens? The difference here becomes 4. You have to track from the back. So here, let's say, you know that this should not be 2, this should be 4. So what you have to do, since there should not be 2 there, you know it should be 4. So you put 4 there. Always go from the back. So if you put 4 here, that means the difference between this term and this term should be 4. Yeah. So 2 plus 4, 6. Okay. Then what you'll get, 6 plus this 6 plus 10 also you'll get, take the odd terms, 2, 4, 10, 18, 28 and 40. Yeah. So this is 2, here it is 6, here it is 8, here it is 10 and here it is 12. The difference is 2, but the difference here is 4. So you should replace this term. Yeah. So if you replace this term with, let's say, 0. So again, as I said, now this term should be 2. If this has to be 2, then this has to be 4. If this has to be 4, this has to be 0. So if you work from the back, you will understand that this 2 should be replaced by 0. Then what will have? The difference between 0 and 4 will be 4. 4 and 10 will be 6, 8, 12. So then it will be an arithmetic mean. So the answer is A. That means you have to, he is asking replace the incorrect term by the correct term. So incorrect term you should identify, but you have to actually answer in the correct term. So you have to replace this 2 by 0. Then the entire sequence, both the odd terms and even terms, will follow the same pattern. And the pattern here is that the difference between these numbers are in arithmetic progression with a common difference of 2. Okay, got it? Any other doubts? Okay, we'll go for the next one. I think the question number is different here. I think this is 27. So I think this is 27 if I'm not wrong. Okay, let's see the question. In the English alphabet, the first 4 letters are written in opposite order and the next 4 letters are written in opposite order and so on. And at the end, Y and Z are interchanged. So he's asking what will be the 4th letter to the right of 13th letter. So let's again split the question into different parts. What he is saying is, in the series of that alphabet of 26 letters, the first, so we know that A, B, C, D, E, F, G, it will be written like that. But what is he saying that the first 4 letters are written in opposite order. That means A, B, C, D, E will be written, A, B, C, D will be written as D, C, B, A. Okay. Then he's saying, and the next 4 letters are written in opposite order and so on. So this pattern will continue. So the next one is E, F, G, H. That will be written as then it will be I, J, K, L. So that will be written as L, K, J, I. Then it will be M, N, O, P. That will be P, O, N, M. Then you have Q, R, S, T. So that will become then you have U, V, W, X. So that will be U, V, W, X in the reverse order. Then finally is saying Y and Z are interchanged. So you'll have Z and Y. Okay, this is the new alphabet that he has given, new order of the alphabets according to his question. So we have written in figures what this statement means. Now he's saying which will be the 4th letter to the right of 13th letter. So first you have to find out what is the 13th letter here. So in this order, so you know this is 4, 4, 4. So this is 12. So this will be 13th letter. Yeah. So P is the 13th letter in the new series. What will be the 4th letter to the right of 13th letter? So this is the first, second, third, and this is the 4th letter to the right of 13th letter. So your answer is T. Okay. So my suggestion would be, generally you have such 2-3 questions which deal with the alphabetical order. So you always write down the alphabet as from A to Z in one place in your rough copy, and then accordingly at least there will be 2-3 such questions. So you can just change that order and see. That will be convenient for you. You can use your rough space that is given at the behind of the paper to solve such questions. Okay. Only mistake would be sometimes to put them in order, like here in confusion I might put H, G, E, F or let's say H, F, G, E, something like that. So make sure this order is written correctly. If this is not a mistake, then your answer you can easily find out. Okay. So next question. So next question says, in a group of 120%, 80 are Indians and rest are foreigners. Further, 70% in the group can speak English. The number of Indians who can speak English is. So this is somewhat similar to the question we have solved in the previous session. So again, you have to just write it down. So he's saying 120% are there. So he's saying Indians are 80. So foreigners will be how many? 40. Okay, this is similar to the one we have found where Indians and foreigners, boys and girls, and he has asked the percentage. So it's somewhat similar. And okay, so next question he says further 70% in the group can speak English. So English can be spoken by 70 people. So who can't speak English? Let's say we put it as non-English. We can put it as 50 because total is we know 120. So this should be 120 and this also should be 120. Now what is he saying is the number of Indians who can speak English is. So this is a little trickier. I wouldn't say much difficult, but a little tricky here. So if you see the, you should always see what he's asking, who can speak English. Okay. So let's say here, just for our assumption, because the question says 30 or less, 30 or more, 30, 20, we should see whether we can actually get a number or we can get a range. This is the exact number that he's saying, but here he's giving a range, that is 30 or less than 30 or more than 30. So just for the convenience, let's assume that all foreigners speak English. Okay, so that means there are 40 foreigners and all 70, within the 70, let's say 40 belong to foreigners. Okay, so what will be the remaining amount who can speak English? 30. Okay, this is the first, first step towards solving the question. And you already got a number which is 30 and you see that option B, C, D have 30 in them. So you can understand that slowly you are approaching towards the answer. And maybe 20 is not the answer, you can easily see from this. Okay, now let's say out of this 40, only 30 foreigners can actually speak English and the rest 10 are Chinese, let's say. So they'll come under this category, only 30 will come. So in that case, out of the 70, if 30 are foreigners, the rest 40 should be Indians because there are only two groups, Indians or foreigners. So if foreigners are only 30 who can speak English, then 40 Indians must be speaking English in order to accommodate this. So in one case, you got 30, in second case you got 40. That means the answer is 30 or more. So that means every foreigner, let's say if all foreigners are speaking English, you have only 30 Indians who can speak English. But for every foreigner speaking other language, to accommodate that 70, Indians should be accommodated in this. That is, to simplify, let's say out of this 40 again, only 35 speak English. That means another 35 should be Indians. So 5 got reduced here means 5 will increase here because they have to match this number 70. And if only 39 foreigners are speaking English, that means in order to accommodate this, you have to have 31 people from Indian speaking English. So every time you see the number is always 30 or more. Okay. So in such questions, what you have to see is you have to take the first extreme example. Extreme example here means all 40 foreigners are speaking English. This is an extreme example. Then you will find only 30 Indians are speaking English. Then whether to find whether it is less than 30 or more than 30, take another example. Take a second example, second case study, and let's say, okay, out of 40, since we have taken an extreme example, let's assume only 30 foreigners speak English and rest 10 speak Mandarin because they are, let's say, Chinese, because we don't know the composition of foreigners. That means 30 will speak, 30 foreigners will speak English, and we know that 70 will speak English. So 40 must be Indians. Okay, sounds a little complicated, but with the examples you can easily find out. Otherwise, I'll give another simpler this thing. Yeah, so we know that Indians are 80, then foreigners are 40, and we know that English speaking are 70, and non-English will be 50. So we can take case 1. Okay, this will be a little simpler for you. Let's say case 1. You say how many foreigners speak English, and we will take an extreme example saying all 40 can speak English. So remaining English, how many are there? If 40 are speaking, 70 minus 40, there are 30. But we know if foreigners speak English are only 40, this 30 has to be Indian. So here you write how many are Indians who speak English. It has to be all 30, right? Because there is no other categorization only. Either if they are Indians or they are foreigners. So if 40 are speaking English, remaining will speak English will be only 30. So Indian speaking English will be 30. If you take case 2, let's say only foreigners speaking English are only 30. That means other 10 are speaking some other language, let's say Mandarin. So how many are remaining English you have to speak? This is 70 minus 30. So 40. And again, you know, if 40 people other than foreign are speaking English, they all must be Indian because that is the composition here. So that makes 40. And you take another example, like if you say 35 here, you will forget 35 here. Everything you will find 30 or more. Okay, so the answer is 30 or more. You can put this table method so that somewhat this is the range they are asking, and you can see the numbers are 30, 40, 35 like that. Anything will be 30 or more only. So this will be the option. Okay, is there clarity? Can we move ahead? Okay. This question numbers you can just see from the actual paper. There is some difference in the order, but you find this question in the CSAT paper 2021 booklet A. Okay. Yeah. So if you see this number, consider all 3-digit numbers without repetition of digits. Without repetition of digits means, let's say if there is 211, this has repetition of digits, like 1 is repeated. So you should have all 3 digits as same, as different. You can put 2, 4, 3, something like this, where all digits are different. Okay. Consider all 3-digit numbers without repetition of digits obtained using 3 non-zero digits. Non-zero digits, any other digits from 0 to 9 except 0, like 1 to 9 you can take any digits, which are multiples of 3. Let S be their sum. Okay. So till here we'll see, only till here, okay? We'll see the next part later. Now he's saying 3 which are multiples of 3. So can you tell me from 1 to 9 what are the digits which are multiples of 3? Okay. So 3, 6, 9 are the multiples of 3. So what is he saying? Obtained using 3 non-zero digits. So all 3 are non-zero, which are multiples of 3. So these are the multiples of 3. So we have to make all 3-digit numbers possible with these 3 digits. Okay. So can you tell me what are the different possible numbers, 3 digits with these, only these 3 digits?
639.
Okay, 639. 396.
936.
Okay, 936. 963. Okay, 369. 396 is already over. So there is 693. Okay. Generally, what you have to do is you have to put one number common, then change the other two. So you have to put one number common and change the other two. So here, if you put 9 as one number, 36 and 63 will be one combination. If you put 639 and 93 will be another combination. If you put 3 as common, 69 and 96 will be another combination. So you'll get 6 total possible ways. Now what is he saying? Let S be their sum. That means all these 6 numbers you have to add up. Okay, so S is their sum. Now what is saying? Which of the following is or are correct? S is always divisible by 74 and S is always divisible by 9. Okay, so that means first you should know what is this S. So for that you have to add all these numbers. So let's try to add. And you can't use your calculator, so you have to go through a grind again. You have to use only your manual calculation. So it will be, you can do along with me. 18 plus 9, 27, 36. So I got this number. Is it correct? Okay. So this is what your S is. Okay. So now you have to find out whether it is divisible by 74 or divisible by 9. So whenever say that they are divisible by 9 or 74, you should find out what are the factors of this number. Okay. So that is one way of doing it. So one logical way would be 3996. You have to find out all factors of it. Or again, since we have less time, we can only see whether it is divisible by 9 or divisible by 74. If you can just find out these two, that is enough. And in the last session, we have seen what is divisibility of 9. If the sum of the digits is divisible by 9, then the number will be divisible by 9. Here, the sum of the digits is 3 plus 9 plus 9 plus 6, which is 27. And we know 27 is divisible by 9. That means this entire number is divisible by 9. So you can say S is always divisible by 9. But next you have to find out whether it is divisible by 74. So what you can do is try to divide this number by 74 in the exam also. Okay, 74 3996. Okay, so you can put how much it goes. Let's say 5 times. That will be 370. You will have 296. Okay. So next you see 74 4 times how much? Because it 7 fours is 28. It is almost 29. So you can assume that 74 fours somewhere will be closer. But if you know 74 fours is actually 296. So there is a remainder 0, which means it is divisible by 7. So you can write this is also true, this is also true. So we select the correct answer, both 1 and 2. So it is divisible by 74 as well as by 9. Okay. So simple, you have to just do some basic division, you will understand. It's like this. Or you can find out all factors, which will take more time. Okay, let's go for this question. So what it says, there are two classes A and B having 25 and 30 students respectively. In class A, the highest score is 21 and the lowest score is 17. In class B, the highest score is 30 and the lowest score is 22. Okay, so now we'll just put this into figures. Now it says there are two classes and number of students, it says this has 25 and this has 30. What else it is saying? In class A, the highest score is 21. So let's say highest is 21 and the lowest is 17. Second, class B, it says highest is 30 and lowest is 22. Okay, this is the basic representation of the data. Next, what it says, 4 students are shifted from class A to class B. That means from 25, 4 students. So this will become 21 and this will become 34. Consider the following statement. The average score of class B will definitely decrease. The average score of class A will definitely increase. So he's talking about average score of the class. So intuitively, if you see, we'll go mathematically, but intuitively, if you see, highest and lowest are of class A are 21 and 17, which are very less. But if you see class B, the lowest of class B is more than the highest of class A. The lowest is 22, whereas the highest of A itself is 22. Means all the students in A will end at only 21, whereas B will only start from 22 onwards. So 30 to 20 means everyone in B is better than everyone in A. That is the basic intuitive understanding you'll get. Now let's say if you shift 4 students from this class to this class, obviously you are shifting poorly performing students to a highly performing class. Then what happens? Class B's average will obviously go down because you are sending poorly performing student to highly performing students. The high performance of B will come down. So you can assume that the average score of B will definitely decrease because you are sending poorly performing students. Next, what it says, the average score of A will definitely increase. This we can't be sure of because you don't know whether you are sending all the high performing students within A or all the low performing students within A. All we know that you can, if anyone you send from A, definitely B's performance will reduce. But it is, let's say there are two conditions. where you're sending, let's say all 4 students are scoring 21 and you're sending them to B, then obviously A's average will come down because you're sending the toppers of A to class B. But it doesn't say whom you are shifting. So there is a possibility that all the low performing students also you're sending to B. Then what happens? You're sending away the poor students of A. That means A's performance, A's average will increase. So there is a possibility both ways, whether you're sending the lowest performing people or the highest performing people. That it doesn't say the question. So you can't say definitely it will increase. It can increase or it can decrease. So this statement will be wrong. Whereas class B's average will definitely decrease because anyone you send the highest or the lowest, it is definitely less than these marks. Okay. Another representation, simpler representation would be, take this number line. Okay. 17, 21, 22 and 30. This is your A's range and this is your B's range. Okay. Now we know that 17 to 21, so the average lies somewhere here. Let's say average of A, and 20 to 30, so it has to be somewhere in between this only. Let's say it is here. So it is average of B. Okay. This is a simpler representation. You know only this is A's range and this is B range. So you know any student you send from here, this has to get, average will reduce. Okay. But here you don't know whether you are shifting 21 to this place or 17 people to this, like 17 mark people or 21 mark people. So this average can shift from here to here or here to here, but it will definitely reduce the B's average. Whereas in average A, if you remove 17 people, then this average will shift towards 21. But if you remove 21 people, this average will move towards 17. So this part you are not clear of. Okay. So you can say that this is wrong, but this is correct. So the answer will be 1 only. Okay. So I would say such questions you can actually solve intuitively only. Just based on this number line, you understand that B is high performing class and A is low performing class. And obviously, if you shift poor performing to high performing, their average will come down. Intuitively is better way of solving this. Okay. Any doubt? So in this question, now it says Priya is 4 ranks below Seema and is 31st from the bottom. And second statement says Ina is 2 ranks above Seema and is 37th from the bottom. Now what they are asking, they have given 2 statements and they are asking what is Seema's rank from the top in the class of 40 students. So whether what they are asking is whether you need statement 1 or statement 2 or both in order to answer the question. So we'll see first how we'll logically place this in terms of figures and see whether we can answer the question with statement 1. So what it says, Priya is 4 ranks below Seema. So let's assume Seema is here. Okay. And they say Priya is 4 ranks below. So this is 4. So if let's say Seema's rank is X, she will be 4 more ranks than Priya. Sorry, Priya will be 4 more ranks than Seema. So Priya's rank will be X plus 4. We are assuming this because we don't know Seema's rank. But what is it? What is the extra giving information is 31st from the bottom. So let's say this is the bottom. That is the final number of students. And when they say 31st from the bottom means, for an example, as we have discussed, if bottom is let's say 50 students, and if someone is 31st from the bottom, then the rank will be 20 because there will be 30 persons below, and after that Priya's number will come. So 30 plus 1, 31st position will be Priya's. So actually the difference will be, if Priya's rank is 20 and the final number of students are 50, the difference will be 30. So bottom will be X plus 4 plus 30, that is X plus 34. Okay. So bottom, let's say total number of students are X plus 34, then Priya will be X plus 4 and Seema will be X. This is the relative position according to statement 1. Now see the question, what is Seema's rank from the top in the class of 40 students. So they have given that there are 40 students in the class. So bottommost rank will be 40th. So x plus 34 will be your 40. So x will be 6. Then you will know Seema's rank is 6. So Seema's rank will be 6, Priya's rank will be 10, and since 40 students are there, there will be 30 students between Priya and bottommost, and Priya will be 31st from the bottom. So these are the relative rankings. So alone with statement 1, you could solve the question that they have given. Now let's see statement 2. What does statement 2 say? It is almost similar. Ina is 2 ranks above Seema. So here Priya was below, but here Ina will be above. So let's say again, if Seema, again the rank is x. Now Ina is 2 places above Seema. Okay. So now her rank will be x minus 2 because she is above. Let's say if she is 4th rank, she will be 2nd rank, 2 places above. And what it says, and Ina is 37th from the bottom. That means again, now here you have to see from this position. Let's say this is bottom. Yeah. Now bottom, if again there are 37th means there are 36 people here. How it was 31st, if it was 31st from bottom, there were 30 people. Here it is 37th from the bottom means there will be 36 people in between. So bottom will be x minus 2 plus 36. That is x plus 34. That is the bottommost position rank. Now let's see the question now. What is Seema's rank from the top in the class of 40 students? So now again we know there are 40 students. So x plus 34 will be 40. So x will be 6. So again we got Seema's rank as 6. Now Ina's rank will be 4. So you could get Seema's rank alone with statement 2. That means you either with statement 1 or statement 2, you can find out Seema's rank and you can answer this question. So that means either statement 1 alone or statement 2 alone is sufficient to answer this question. So answer will be C. Okay, because any one of them is enough to answer this question. Okay, any doubts? Okay, so we'll end today's lecture. We'll go to the next question. Yeah, so consider 2 statements and a question. Each of A and D is heavier than each of B, E and F, but none of them is heaviest. So A and D combinedly they're heavier than each of B and D. So if you put ascending order, you will find that B, E and F you keep at 1 place, A and D you can keep at 2nd place, but none of them is the heaviest. That means there is some other number here there is another component here which you don't know, which is heavier than all of these 3. So there are 3 different categorizations saying that B, E, F is one category, A and D is another category, and there is something which is heaviest. So this is like an ascending order of weights. Statement 2 says A is heavier than D but is lighter than C. So A is heavier means you have to change this order. D will come first and then A will come first, then D will come. So this is the second iteration after the statement, but is lighter than C. That means C will come somewhere here in this part because we know none of them is heaviest, and he's saying that A is lighter than C, so C must be somewhere this side. Now what they're saying is, who is the heaviest among A, B, C, D, E? Okay. So in this question, when I solved this, I found there are 2 answers for it. One which says that both statements are necessary to conclude this, to find out the answer. One which says only statement 1 is enough to answer this. So I feel it is little subjective. So we'll just run through what is the answer. So what is he asking is, who is the heaviest among A, B, C, D, E? Now let's say if we don't have statement 2, all we know is A and D are heavier than B, E, F. That means B and E can never be the heaviest because we already know A and D are heavier than B and F. So it must be somewhere A, C and D. Now it says, but none of them is heaviest. That means neither A nor D is heaviest. So we are left with C. So that means who is the heaviest among A, B, C, D, E? We can say C. Because we know B and E can't be and A and D are not the heaviest. This is one answer. That means only statement 1 is enough for you to answer this question. But why I am saying is statement 2 is also important, because when they say none of them is heaviest, you don't know where C is actually. You can say, since there is no mention of C here, C can actually be here also. It can be the lowest also. Here it is saying none of them is heaviest. That doesn't mean anything other than these will be the heaviest. It only mentions that about 5 letters. So C can actually be the lowest also. We should definitely know what is C's position in order to say whether it is heaviest or not. So second statement says A is heavier than D but is lighter than C. That means it places C in front of A. Only then we will be able to know what is C's position. So in my own opinion, I think you need statement 2 in order to answer this. Because if you say who is the heaviest among this, and if let's say C is here, you say A will be the heaviest. Because you know that it is given that A is heavier than D, so D will be here. And if nothing is given about C, you will assume that A will be greater, A will be the heaviest. So you need to know the second statement saying that it is lighter than C. So in my opinion, answer will be, you require both statement 1 and statement 2 to the answer. But some people have said you only require statement 1. So this is subject to UPSC's actual key, but I feel answer should be C. Okay, any other opinion you would like to give on this question, or any other doubts you have? Okay, so a student appeared in 6 papers. The maximum marks are same for each paper. His marks are in these papers are in the proportion 5:6:7:8:9:10. Those are total 6 papers. Overall, he scored 60%. So let's just represent this in exams. Okay. So we know that the marks are in proportion of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We don't know what are the exact marks. We only know the ratios. So let's assume subject 1, the marks are 5x. Okay, because we don't know. It can, if it is exactly 50 or if it is exactly 500, we know how much it is, but we don't know. So let's assume it is 5x. Then by the virtue of this ratio, in subject 6, he'll score 6x marks, then 7x marks, 8x marks, then 9x marks and 10x marks. Yeah. So we know that these are the different marks that he gets in different subjects. And it is also given that the maximum marks are the same for each paper. So let's assume the maximum marks are 100. Okay, that is safely we can assume. Overall, he scored 60%. Now, overall means out of, when you come, let's say the highest of this subject is 100 marks. This is also 100 marks because we know it is given to us. This is also 100. We are assuming, because he said maximum marks are same, we are assuming maximum marks to be 100 in each paper. 100, 100, 100. So now what will be the total percentage of all his entire report card? If you see, if you count individual marks, how much it will be? 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9. So this is 15, 15, 15. So 45x. Yeah. You have to add all these marks to get his final score. So this will be 45x is what is total marks. Out of how many? 600 marks. Okay, understood? Anything doubt here? So total subject, if you add all the marks, he'll get 45x, because subject 1 he got 5x marks, subject to 6x marks, like that. But all the highest is 600. Now what is he saying? Overall he scored 60%. That means 45x by 600 into, if you calculate the percentage, he is saying this is 60%. Okay, this is the final equation we'll get. So if you calculate how much you will get, you have to find out x here. Okay, then you go 3 2s, 3 15s, 15 1s, 15 4s. So we'll get as x as 8. Okay, got it? So now we got X value as 8. Now what is he asking? In how many number of papers did he score less than 60% of the maximum marks? Okay, that means we know that maximum marks is 100. So 60% of maximum marks is 60 marks. So what we have to find out is how many subjects he actually scored less than 60 marks. So we know X is 8. So in subject 1 his score will be how much? 5 into X, that is 40. In subject 2 it will be 6 into 8, 48. In subject 3 it will be 56. Here it will be 64. Here it will be 72. And here it will be 80. And we know that how many number of papers did he score less than 60%, means less than 60 marks. So you know this is one paper, this is one paper and this is one paper. So totally in first 3 subjects he scored less than 60. In other 3 subjects he scored more than 60. So the answer here would be 3. So in 3 subjects he scored less than 60. Okay, any doubt? So whenever you get such ratios, it is always comfortable to assume some X because it will be easier. And whenever they give you some, let's say, percentages or maximum marks, as discussed in the last session also, always keep it in terms of 100. That will be better for you. It will be easier for the calculation also. Okay.